Hey guys, Dirk here. Just want to give you a little bit of a backstory on this next project that we're reposting. Okay, this project was originally built for a modeling community called Amazing Plastics. When this community came into being, it was decided that they wanted to get together and give back to others, and the idea that they came up with was doing a model group build where everybody built models, whatever model you wanted. The models were then be auctioned off to a special platform. I don't know where it was. The person who was running the show at the time was in the industry of multimedia, and he had connections, and he was going to be able to auction off to this within the community and to this, and the profits of the sales of these models would then be given to a charity that we chose for that year. The first one that we chose was the Jimmy Fund, which is for the Dana Farber Institute in Boston, Massachusetts. It's a children's cancer hospital. It's a big thing. It's near and dear to me. This was my suggestion because being a Red Sox fan, from the New England area, Dana Farber is very big there. The Red Sox are very big into drumming up funds for the Farber Institute and stuff like that. So I thought it would be really cool to give to, in this case, kids with cancer. So a bunch of us set off building our kits. Now, just as it came to an end, the person that was in charge at the time kind of got disinterested, and it just the project just evaporated. But I still have the build, so that's cool. I really enjoyed this. Maybe it was because of where it was going, the possibilities of what it was going to do. The whole thing was a really cool idea. But this is one of my favorite builds, and I really hope you enjoy it. So stay tuned.
We first went there, remember, it was just like, just another job.
I didn't much care what it was, just that it was iron and we were working there. We could see in the windows.
They were always in the window. Anyone that was in that waiting room, you'd see them.
With the signs.
And everybody give them a wave, see the big smile. We did a couple names, and all of a sudden there's like 15 names in the window.
Spraying that on the iron really made their day. And to know that I was on a job building a facility that could possibly find a cure for cancer one day, meant a lot to me. That, there's hope for people in the future.
And that maybe a few bucks from this guy and a few bucks from that guy and a few dollars from everybody on the job might help these kids out in any little way was the easiest thing to do. It was the simplest thing to do. Reach in your pocket and throw a few dollars in the hot hat every Friday.
You really don't have to donate that much. You just got to give a little. A little in abundance is a lot.
And the beauty of building that building is if they find the cure for that, we'll never have to build another one like that.
Right.
You don't have to build those anymore.
And
that would be the wonderful thing for that.
Good evening, everyone. Today is March 14th, 2014. Why is the date so important? Well, because I've put myself behind the 8 ball. I put myself between a rock and a hard place. I put myself up a river without a paddle. What I'm talking about is the Amazing Plastics Jimmy Fun build. It started January 1st and it ends March 31st. Being March 14th, I've got less than 2 weeks to complete my build for the Jimmy Fun. I've procrastinated and procrastinated, and now I'm in trouble. And you could say, well, big deal, just don't do it. And part of me actually thought about it. But then I started looking back at some old video clips and some stuff on YouTube for the Jimmy Fun, some of which you've seen already now. And it dawned on me just how important this build really is. So I've decided it's time to get off my ass and start working on the kit. Now originally, I'd planned on doing this car right here, the Lamborghini Countach 500S. And my idea of doing this car was to do this, lack of a better word, modern day car in a World War II Italian fighter theme. In other words, it was going to be sand color with the Italian smoke ring pattern on it, and then the Italian markings on the car. But to be honest, I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't getting into it. So that's probably why most of the time I'd been putting off this build, because I just couldn't get into the build. I'm a person that can't build. I can't be forced to build. I have to build what I want to build, not what I'm told to build. And just wasn't feeling it. So I decided, out goes the Lamborghini. And in comes good old American power, Ford Robocop police car. The new movie is, actually, I think it came out last week. But I decided I wanted to do this car. I was excited about the new movie. I don't think it's going to make the original movie any better. And what I mean is, the original movie is a cult classic. It was not a great movie. The second one was even less of a great movie. The third one, well, the third one shouldn't even be considered a movie. And the TV series just outright sucked. But the first one was definitely a cult classic. And it's not an Oscar award-winning movie in any way, but it was just a fun movie with lots of violence, profanity, violence, blood, and Robocop blowing things up. So I decided this was the car to build. So this is what we're going to do. So give me a second to reposition the camera. We'll take a look at the parts, and we're going to get our asses in gear and start building this car, because time's a ticking. Be right back.
Hello there. Pretty easy to take, this New England country life. Whole lot different from the hustle and bustle of making pictures in Hollywood. And fellow learns a lot here, more than he ever knew before, really, about history and traditions, but mostly about people. People with hearts, great, big, generous hearts. People like you. Now, it's hard, awfully hard, to think of kids and anything as terrible as cancer at the same time. But cancer kills more children than any other disease. Thousands, that's right, thousands, every year. Now, what's being done about it? Thanks to you, a great deal is being done. 7 years ago, you were touched by the plight of a boy named Jimmy. And you opened your heart and your pocketbooks, and you built the wonderful Jimmy Fund in his name at the Children's Cancer Research Foundation of Boston, where more than 200 Jimmys and Janes, all cancer victims, are receiving care, total care, thanks to your continued support. I visited the Jimmy Fund building recently, saw myself what I wish you all could see. The faces of those youngsters, the inspired devotion of its medical staff to bring hope where before there was no hope. And always faith. Faith that one day, perhaps in such a research laboratory as here, the tireless search of medical scientists may at long last be rewarded. Only a few weeks ago, Butch here was romping around like any other healthy and happy little guy. Today, he has leukemia, cancer of the blood. Hiya, Butch. Got it. Ball player, huh?
That's what I'm going to be when I grow up. A Red Sox.
You're going to be a ball player for the Red Sox? Yeah, sure. Well, you just keep fighting, Butch, and I wouldn't be at all surprised. I think you'll be rooting for Butch to have his chance. A chance to step up to the plate and slam out the hit you want to see him make. One right over the fence. A real run. All the way home. Will he have his chance? I think you'll see to it that he does. And you can help him and all other child cancer victims by giving, as you have so generously in the past, to the Jimmy Fund. The Jimmy Fund, Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you. Now, in a few minutes, members of the theater staff will pass among you. Do your best, will you?
Okay, so here we go. We got the AMT Ertl Robocop Robo 1 police car. They made a couple of these cars. They also made a follow-up to this, the Robo 2 police car. I'm not exactly sure what the differences are aside from the lights at the top. But actually, this doesn't even fit the lights on the first movie. So I'm going to have to look around and see what I can do for that. Or just build it the way it is. This kit, I'm not sure when it was first released, but this kit here is from 2003. So it's been a repop. They've made, actually AMT has made this car several ways. I think you can get actually a straight Taurus, and then you've got the police Taurus right here. I think there's another one out there too. I can't remember. So I think there's 3 altogether, not counting the various different Robocop versions. But this one says it's Robocop 1, or Robo 1 from the first movie. The problem is, like I said, the light bar doesn't match the movie. And here do these bumpers. In the first movie, they had the big push guards on the front. But what are you going to do? I'm not really going to worry too much about it. It'd be nice if it was exact, but I really don't got time to mess around and try to find a new push grill, so I'm just going to build it the way it is. But let's take a look here. It's got a nice shiny box. I think it's a very attractive box with the metal brushing on the back. It's got the actual model on the cover. It's got Robo himself, played by Peter Weller, on the front. On the side, we got more pictures of the car. This is from the top, of course, and here's some actual photos. Profile, the interior, and the SHO engine by Yamaha. Very cool engine. This is what's called a Gen 1 show, SHO, super high output. I had a Gen 2. Very, very cool cars. Very, very cool cars. Fast, 4 doors, but they were very fast. That's it, really. It's a skill level 2. Again, it's from 2003. Let's take a look at some of the parts we got here. Directions, we'll take a look at them in a minute. First comes the chrome parts. Neat thing right off the bat, it comes with 3 different sets of rims, so you can actually pick and choose which ones you want. It's got the light bar up top here, radio antenna, engine parts here. This is the manifold on the for the engine. That's pretty neat. It's got what they call the short and the long intakes. This car was very fast. Actually, when Ford contracted out to Yamaha to build this car, Ford actually made them downgrade the horsepower on this motor. Reason being, they didn't want it to outperform the Mustang. Now, I'm a big Mustang fan, but I think they should have put this thing, let it do what it could do go balls to the walls, it would have been a really cool, really cool car. But anyway, that's the chrome part. We've got the body, nicely molded. Looking for the mold lines in here. I'm not seeing anything right off the bat, which means nice, easy cleanup. I got some mold lines here behind the tail light, but that'll be hidden by the tail light, so that's no big deal. Anyway, the body's nice and smooth. Nothing out of line here. It's not warped, so that's good. We got 2 bags of clear parts. We've got the glass, which is a one piece for the front and the rear. Then we've got another one here. It's got the barricade divider, and then it's got the lenses that go on top of the twin sonics on the top. We got another bag of parts here. We got the 4 nice rubber tires, which look like they're very nice. They're actual rubber. Don't have to cut out the inserts. I don't have any seams down the middle to worry about. They're very nice. And then I've got the blue and red parts for the twin sonics. Next up, we've got the chassis. Nothing special. It's just one piece. Just like anything else, it's tire mount here, the fuel tank. It's just, just one big piece of plastic. Nothing special, but it's got some nice detail, so that's cool. The nice thing is the exhaust isn't built into it or anything like that. It's by itself. We've got the interior tub. Okay. Actually, the rear deck's got speakers and the retractors for the seatbelts in there. It's pretty nice detail. Here we've got some suspension parts, front struts, the back of the wheels. We've got the front and rear bumper guards. It's got the built-in. There we go. Come on, focus for me. Yeah, there it is. The SHO embroidered, embossed in the bumper, the rear bumper. Very cool. I'm kind of rushing this because I got to get started. Last piece here, well, almost last row. We've got the rest of the 6-cylinder engine parts here. Radiator, front suspension parts. We've got the spoiler for the back. I think that's a spoiler for the back. Maybe not. I don't know. Dual exhaust, comes in 2 parts. Again, not a lot of flash on this. There's some, but there's not really a lot on it. We got the interior parts in the hood. We've got the hood, nice and smooth. Nice detail underneath. We've got the front seats, nicely detailed, I think. One-piece backs. Even got the pockets for the, if you're a civilian driver, you put your maps and your umbrella in there and everything. And then we've got the dash. Let me turn my light on. Let's see the dash here. There we go. Not too bad. You notice it's got a clutch pedal. All SHOs came with 5 speeds. Or should I say Gen 1s came with 5 speeds. After that, they put it in automatics because they were just, people were tearing apart the transmissions. Rear view mirrors. Center console because the shift was in the center. And then the last piece, police stuff. We've got the barricade. We've got the console for the radios and such. We've got the armrests that go in the middle of the console. We've got a police PR-24 baton. Shotgun, M16, another radio, and some bits here. I can't make out what they are. But, very cool. Oh. And the pulley assembly for the 6-cylinder motor. Okay. Next up, we get the instructions. Nice and big, thick sheets. Tells you a little bit about Robocop. Gives you some important tips and tricks. And then we've got the assembly instructions. Straightforward. Okay. According to this, we've got about 14 steps to build this car. And then on the back it's got the paint call outs on the car. Now the neat thing about this car, and also makes it easier for me to do this for under pressure for the Jimmy build, is that the interior is black, the exterior is black, the chassis is black, everything is black, so it should make it a lot easier for me to complete it because I'm virtually working with just one color. And then the decals, there's only 2 decals in this kit, and that's the door emblems for the Detroit OCP emblem. Now, since I'm building this car to give away, what I'm thinking of doing, since I have this other one that I showed you just a little while ago, this Taurus, what I think I'm going to do is later is I'm going to build this too, but I'm going to just scan these decals in, and then I'll be able to use them on my Taurus, and then I can make myself one. So we'll have 2 cars. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. That's the kit. If you haven't heard us talking about it, we've been talking about this build for about 4 months now on Amazing Plastics, and I also talked it up a bit a couple months ago on the unofficial Airfix modeling forum. The cause is a really good cause, as you saw a little while ago. So, you know, if you're interested, there's still time to join. Get in touch with Richard Cleveland over at Amazing Plastic, and he'll give you the instructions on what has to be done and all that. But for now, I have to get myself in gear and get building. So until next time, guys, be strong.